I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we all live and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge the Australians who came here and those who are yet to come to build and shape this land together into the country it has become and is still becoming. I acknowledge those who fought for this land and those whose lives were lost in its name. Together we are many, and as Australians, we are one. And that's exactly why I'm writing this, because the country doesn't need another tweak, another review, another report, or another spin cycle. We need reform that actually lands, reform that restores faith that good policy can still work, not in theory, in real life, where people live. Because right now, we're watching Australia grind and glitch. We see it in the ordinary places where government touches reality. Ramping, social care, housing, power bills, potholes, and the endless hold music of bureaucracy. Those are the fish slap moments when you realise it's not just doing it tough. Something structural is off. And we're doing all of this in a world that feels increasingly unstable. We live in very uncertain times. There has been plenty of talk, rightly, about the defence of our nation. But if we want national resilience, the best place to start isn't with slogans or symbolism. It's with the fundamentals. It's with the engine room. We need a system that's fit not only for the next generation, but for many generations to come. Because defence isn't only a military conversation, it's a nationhood conversation. A country that can't house people, care for people, power itself, or deliver basic services without choking on its own process is not resilient, no matter how many strategies it prints. And then a politician turns up with carefully crafted words, same rhythm, same tone, same promise that this time it's different, and our eyes roll back in our heads because we can smell the script. Same rhetoric, different day. It's not that Australians are fragile, it's that we're not stupid. The Overton window isn't moving, it's twitching. We're told society is polarised, maybe, but I think something deeper is happening. The framework can't keep up with the world. The Overton window used to shift gradually. Now it bounces around so much it looks like a window and more like a spasm. One week we're morally certain, the next week we're cancelling. Yesterday's certainty. Then we're shocked that people are cynical, exhausted, angry, or just gone. And it's not surprising. In the modern age, it feels like we digest more information in a day than someone in the Victorian era digested in a lifetime. Knowledge has expanded. Education has expanded. People can fact check anyone in real time. But here's the catch. Not all information is true. Not all truth is truth. And people are living in bubbles, often without even knowing it, barely able to imagine what life is like for someone in a different suburb, let alone a different country. That matters, especially when we talk about immigration, social cohesion and civic expectations. Not all places have the same access to education, to freedom, or women's equality. Not everyone lives a modern progressive life, even in 2026. Pretending otherwise doesn't make us enlightened. It makes us naive, and naivety is expensive. The protests look diverse. The problem is shared. Here's something else we keep missing. All those people protesting here and across the world on different issues, in different groups, with different slogans, they look very diverse. But most of them are our kids, or our friends, or our colleagues, somebody's daughter, someone's son, someone you went to school with, someone who used to be cheerful and now looks permanently furious. We have more in common with them than we think. Underneath the slogans A lot of it comes back to the same core experience. The system has let us down. People feel unheard, managed, lectured, boxed, told they're included while being excluded from any meaningful power. So yeah, we're all angry. But that's also the good news. If we're brave enough to use it, if we can identify the shared problem together, we can fix it together. That's how countries grow up. The real problem isn't just politicians. It's the machinery. Political parties haven't escaped the times. Many feel stagnated, over-focused on old demographics, tangled in internal fights, or replenished by people who, through no malice, have grown up inside the same institutional bubble. But even that isn't the deepest issue. The deeper issue is that we've quietly built a system where power has drifted away from the people and their representatives and into a thick layer of process. Committees, quangos, advisory ecosystems, lobbying pipelines, grant-dependent empires, the whole industry of saying things about Australians rather than building things for Australians. And it's nobbled any hope of reform. It's nobbled the whole country, frankly. We've created massive time and cost constraints that block progress. We overemphasise process and underemphasise outcomes. We confuse activity with achievement. We spend fortunes on transformation and end up with software that looks like something one of my kids could knock up together in an afternoon. Sometimes it genuinely feels like we're hydroponically growing public servants in a vacuum somewhere. I've interacted, advocated, submitted ideas, watched proposals go in, and what comes out can be strangely random. This isn't about demonising the public service. It's about incentives. A machine that rewards risk aversion and box ticking will produce risk aversion and box ticking. And in a digital age, our bureaucracy, born between the Middle Ages and the early 19th century, then patched ever since, is not fit for purpose. It's like trying to run a steam engine on solar panels, not because solar is bad, but because the engine was never built for it. And no, the answer isn't to bolt AI onto the side of the steam train as a shiny modern appendage and call it reform. If the engine is wrong, you don't need a smarter whistle. You need a rebuild. We need to put democracy back into the driver's seat. If Parliament is theatre and the real steering happens elsewhere, then what are we doing? Why have representatives as a facade for bureaucratic rule? Power needs to move back towards the people, through Parliament, and with real transparency and real accountability. Otherwise, we're just watching a puppet show and pretending it's governance. We should be able to see who influences policy, where the money goes, and what outcomes the spending actually produces, not just how much was spent. And over time, carefully, responsibly, we should consider more direct democratic mechanisms, not overnight. But we could build towards it. Because here's the truth, representatives are supposed to vote on our behalf. Too often, they vote on the party's behalf, against their constituents. Maybe one day, we should have the option to vote on certain issues directly. So when they vote, they actually get it right. To do that properly, we need a serious civic education effort and an informed public. But that's not a reason to dismiss it. It's a reason to start. Canberra runs on extremes. The silent majority gets left out. Then politicians deliver another carefully scripted performance to connect. And it still lands flat because people can sense the lack of authenticity. That's why many don't bother. They think nothing changes, and honestly, they're not wrong. A declaration for the future is something I think we need. Renew the social contract. So how do we draw a line in the sand without lurching into extremes. Here's a practical national project that could unite Australians instead of dividing them. An Australian declaration for the future. Not a partisan toy, not a culture war weapon, a once-in-a-generation chance to renew the social contract with the Australian people. Because right now, the social contract is confused. Expectations are warped. Governments are treated like vending machines for outcomes, then resented for overreach when they try to manufacture those outcomes. A declaration for the future. Let us say together, plainly, who we are, what we stand for, what we owe each other, what government is for and what it's not for, and what direction we choose for the next 50 to 100 years. And we should back that with a Bill of Rights that covers the whole ecosystem. Rights of the individual, including freedom of speech, within the lawful limits we already accept, for threats and violence, but not cancel culture by bureaucracy. The rights and obligations of the people as a whole, because we're a shared community, sharing resources through tax. And the boundaries of government, because overreach isn't democracy, no matter how well-intentioned it sounds. This is where a lot of modern politics has quietly glitched. Human rights have expanded, often for good reasons, but we've blurred who is responsible for producing the outcomes implied by those rights. Meanwhile, the rights of citizens as a collective through democracy have been oddly sidelined, and responsibilities barely discussed. That has warped what people expect from government, and it has given government cover to overreach. Nowhere is this more obvious than in welfare, social care and the NDIS. Social care is the canary in the coal mine. If you want to know whether a government system actually works, don't start with glossy strategy decks. Start with social care, because that's where policy touches bodies. It's where values stop being theoretical. The NDIS was a bold attempt at top-down social reform, a new idea inside an old system. Then it was effectively privatised into a market, and the underlying problems became obvious, fast. Current business models are not tenable. Low profit margins, high risk, fragile workforce, mountains of compliance, and outcomes that are still not acceptable far too often. It has exposed an uncomfortable truth. We can't get perfect outcomes at any price. And we shouldn't try to make it a bankrupting exercise. We don't have to do that. We can do better than that. Because sustainability isn't cruelty. Sustainability is the only way care survives. Here's the twist. Many people assume the answer lives at one end of the spectrum. More capitalism or less capitalism. More state or less state. But sustainability in social care doesn't sit neatly at either extreme. It lives in cooperation of capabilities, in community, and in facilitating financial self-actualisation, so people aren't trapped with only one sanctioned avenue of sustenance. Because when there's only one pipeline for survival, one funding gate, one bureaucracy, one approved life, you don't create dignity, you create dependency, resentment, and a loss of humanity. And this is where the pursuit of happiness matters. Government has a role. Fund supports, set guardrails, enforce safety, stop exploitation, and make discrimination unlawful. But happiness itself is not in the government's domain, no matter how far it tries to overreach. You can't legislate meaning. You can't audit love. You can't standardise joy into existence. The state can build conditions. Only people, families, communities, citizens can live the life inside them. And if we lose that principle, if we allow outcomes to be mandated, standardised and legislated as if humans are widgets, then we're not just doing it to them. We open the door to it being done to all of us. Home first, then enterprise, then the next industrial age. We can't keep telling people to buy Australian when we don't build enough, make enough, or power the country cheaply enough to compete. If we're serious, the base comes first. Housing that is achievable, construction capacity that is real, energy that is reliable and affordable, and investment settings that don't turn the whole economy into mortgage churn. Then a national drive for enterprise, skills and new technology. So Australia doesn't just go back to being great again, but goes forward and becomes extraordinary. Bugger being great again. Let's make Australia awesome or fully sick. Well, you get my drift. Let's do it our way, the Australian way, and let's include the generations in the future we're building. Because hope isn't a nice to have. Hope is economic infrastructure. It's social cohesion. It's the thing that stops a country from becoming bitter. A hopeful way forward, courage, unity, and an upgraded engine in a volatile cancel culture. It's tempting to say nothing, to speak in safe mush, to protect your job. That's how systems fail, politely. This is a time for courage from ordinary people, not just professionals. A time to refuse division, see past the noise, and rally around reform where it counts. The machinery. We don't need another Royal Commission into the public service. We already know the problem. We need to draw the line, make the declaration for the future, formulate the Bill of Rights, and mark that moment together, future-facing, unifying, as a national day. A day where Australians can say, we did something together and we chose a direction. And then we need to upgrade the engine. Steam engines had their glory days, but the steam engine won't run on solar, that's for sure. Maybe we need something nuclear, fusion if they can get it to behave. The point is a system designed for continuous power, continuous delivery, not intermittent optimism. Because in uncertain times, resilience is defence. A functioning engine room is defence. A country that can house people, care for people, power itself, and deliver services efficiently is harder to destabilise externally or internally. And as we watch the rest of the world wobble, we should have the confidence to look across the ocean and say, yeah, nah, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's not lurch so far left or so far right that we tip the boat. Let's tack, alter course, keep our cargo on board and intact. We may disagree about how history is remembered, but I'm pretty sure we all agree it's high time we got wiser and started learning from it. Australia can be the best port in the storm, not because we're perfect, but because we're capable. When we stop outsourcing responsibility, stop letting process replace progress, and remember, we're not just the lucky country. We were the clever country too, and we can be again.